Hi everybody, it's Meryl here from Mezza Scrappers. How are you doing? Isn't it freezing? Oh my gosh. Who else had snow? I had snow here a little while ago. It's a bit unusual in Sunbury. We certainly weren't expecting it. I just was very surprised. Oops, a daisy, I've got my volume on. Okay, so I am going to be showing you how to make a braided card. This is something that I've actually pretty much always looked at doing, and to be honest, I thought it was going to be an awful lot harder than what it actually is. If you're here, say hi, let me know. I'm going to have a little bit of a challenge for everybody who's watching and anybody who watches replay, and I will announce that at the end of the video. I hope you can see I've actually zoomed in close. I might zoom in a little bit closer in a moment, and so you can see what I'm doing. Whilst I say that this technique is not hard, and it's not hard, you do need to be precise. And I found that out. I'll grab my rubbish. I found that out. I've actually chopped some of it off because I decided that, I can do this just by hand. I can do it without a template. I have chopped this off, and no, you need a template, which I will tell you how to get one from me at the end of the video as well. Hopefully I'll remember to tell you all. Hi Shana, hi Pauline. Yes, I'm sure it is raining up at your end of where we live as well. I'm not too sure if there was snow down in town. Although Pauline, you had snow. Yes, although you're up high as well, same as us. So it'd be interesting to see if there was any actually in town itself, because the town of the village of Sunbury is a little bit lower than what we all are. So anyway, let's get on with it. So this is one that I've made previously. Alright, and we have the braided look down the side. Now I'm not going to actually be showing a completed card, alright, because otherwise that's just going to take too long. What I will do is give you suggested matting sizes, which I will also add into the comments at the end. So this one's using our 5.5 inch by 4.25 inch card base. Alright, so that's it out. Doesn't that look brilliant? I think that looks brilliant. I reckon we could slice that off and add it to a card front. Anyway, that's not what we're doing today. So I also did one on some of our cardstock, our coloured cardstock. Our coloured cardstock, I think, is perfect for this because we have the two-tone cardstock. So one side of the cardstock is the true colour, and then the reverse of the cardstock, shown here, is a lighter shade of that colour. Using the braiding technique gives you a break-up with the colours, and I think that looks absolutely fantastic. I also did one on a smaller card, and I think that works as well. And you can just add a little bit of cardstock for your stamping, the same as with the others. As I said, for the 5.5 by 4.25 inch card, I will be giving you some matte sizing at the end. Alright, so let's get started. What are you going to need? Alright, well, first thing you're going to need is a standard side card base. You're going to need some very sharp scissors. Alright, these are our micro tip scissors. They have a very fine tip, and these are perfect for what we're going to do today because you do not get that tearing, which you can often get with a rounded tip. all right? And these are extremely sharp. I always tell everybody, please be careful when you're handling these. These do draw blood quite easily. You will need a bone folder. You need it more so for when you're creating one from a blank, okay? But you will be using it for this as well. You will need some paper clips, all right? You will need some paper clips and you'll need some adhesive, okay? So what I call the snail adhesive, dry adhesive, is better for what you're going to need here. All right, a wet adhesive possibly will be too wet. Trying to use your double-sided tape that you pull the backing off will be fiddly for one aspect of this project. You could use glue dots, okay. You could use glue dots. You won't be able to see that dot on there, it's very small, but I found that more fiddly than just using the dry adhesive snail. Okay, the other thing that you're going to need, and I will email those of you who are interested a copy of this, you need a template, okay? As I showed before with my mess, which is down in the bin, I tried to do it without a template. It doesn't work. You need it to be precise. So what I will be able to email to you is this sheet, which has 4 templates on it, okay? The reason for that is because you're going to be using this and cutting, okay? And it may not give you a good result if you reuse the cut piece. All right, once you've got this emailed to you, you can then just put it in your printer and print it off. If you don't have a printer and you've used up all 4, contact me and I will send you the template again. All right, now let's get started. So first thing we need to do, and I'll need my template back again, is we need to cut out one of the templates. Okay, so I'm just doing a bit of a rough one at the moment. Put that out the way. And what you will need to do, now this is where you need to be very precise, okay? You're going to cut along this line, all right? This line will be sitting up against the outside edge of your card, all right? So let's trim. Now I'm under pressure here because I'm on video and it's live. So of course that's when you can be guaranteed that you're not going to cut straight. You're going to chop off a bit that you don't really want to chop off. So I'm going to take it a little bit slowly to make sure that it's straight. Isn't it funny when you're just doing it and you know people aren't watching, you just cut away, comes out fine. What else I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the bottom bit off. You'll see there's an extended line down on your template. Okay, I'm just going to switch that way and I'm going to chop that bit off at the top because I want this to line up on my card. Okay, let's get rid of the rubbish and let's bring in the card. Okay, you have your card folded, all right? Make sure it's folded. Make sure it's the right way. And we're going to line up along the edge of the card. I hope you can see this. We're going to line up along the edge of the card. All right. Now what I did with this template, I actually did drop it down ever so slightly. But you don't need to. I just preferred having a little bit of a less gap at the bottom. You'll see why in a moment. Okay. Once you've got that lined up, you need your paper clips. You need to keep these in place while you're cutting the template. Make sure that's level with the card edge. So this is what I'm saying, that you need to be precise, okay? You do need to take your time when you're getting it all ready, all right? Now we're going to cut. So on the template, there are two lines. One is a bit shorter than the other, and there's a dashed line. Do not cut this dashed line, okay? Do not cut this. There's, again, as we go down, this one here says fold at the bottom. It's probably upside down. This one here says fold, okay? I'll explain something to you at the end, but we're going to cut. Now with the fine point, you want that to be right at the tip end of the line. So we're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut on the line all the way through the card up to that point. That's why these are so brilliant with cutting. You're not going to split past where you've cut. They really are amazing scissors. Okay, we're going to go in here and we're going to move our way down. Again, make sure you're on the line. Make sure that you cut to the end of the line, but you do not cut that dashed line. Okay, I'm going to keep moving down. Cut this one. And just keep going there. So it's everybody going down. Pauline, I see that you've put up a question, can you use your trimmer? No, I really wouldn't. You run the risk of going too far. I would definitely be relying on scissors because you want to make sure that you stop right at the end of that line. All right, you do not want to go further and you don't want to be shorter than it. Okay, it's your scissors definitely will need to be the tool that you use. Okay, let's go to the end. And we actually have two versions of these scissors. We have the ones that I'm using here, which are a micro tip non-stick. These are brilliant for cutting anything that's got adhesive on it. They are fantastic for cutting your foam dots, foam squares, your foam tape. Some people refer to them as dimensionals. They are brilliant, okay? Really good for that. They're also really good for cutting your little adhesive dots in half if you need to. Okay, so I've now cut those pieces. Now where this says fold, that's telling us that we will eventually be folding down at this line. However, for this bottom one, we are going to cut along that dashed line. So we're going to take our scissors in underneath, make sure that you've got through both layers of the card, and we're going to trim that bit out. As I said, make sure that you join up with the piece that you've already cut. And we have the scrap piece of paper that was from the template. Okay, don't need that. You need to keep this piece. Make sure you keep this piece, all right? We will be using it. So don't throw it out. We can take paper clips off. We don't need those anymore. And we don't need this template anymore. So you can try using it again, or you just throw it in the bin. It's just a piece of printer A4. So now we're going to open out the card. I must have had a bit of mess. We're just going to get covered up anyway, so it doesn't matter. And we now have this gap at the bottom, okay? But the other thing that we have is that we have these cut piece sections, all right? And we are going to fold. So where you've cut, this is where your dashed line would have been on the template, Now, let's hope that you can see this. Let's see if I can just zoom it in a bit closer. And hopefully my fingers won't get in the way. We are going to lift it at the point, okay? You've got this little piece here, which matches this one. We are going to lift at the point, and we are going to carefully fold down. We then push this underneath that flap. And we'll do this all the way down. So we'll get those out of the way. So this way you can see the braiding. And this is why your cuts need to be precise, because you need this, make sure that this point is here and is long enough to push this top piece in and under, because that's what holds it in place. So we come down here. And we're going to do this one again. Okay. So we've got our braiding. Okay. Now we're going to go back here. This is where we had our little piece. All right. Now, with regard to the crease that's on your card, all right, there is what we call a valley and what we call a mountain. So the mountain sticks up, the valley is where it has been scored into. We want to match this with that crease. So I want to make sure that I've got the valley up, face up. So turn it over. It won't matter that much if you haven't, to be quite honest. And I'm going to put a bit of glue, and I've got the little flappy bit down. I'm going to put some glue there. You want to make sure that you have glued it right to the point. Okay. All the way to the point. Cover that point with adhesive. Clean it off. Then we line up and tuck in underneath. Okay, we're going to line it up there, tuck it in, and what we're going to do is make sure that it's level. Whoops. Make sure that it is level with the scored line here, and I've actually done it backwards, but I'm not going to worry. The top edge of the card. Top edge of the card. That little black mark didn't come off. Alright, and it is sitting in underneath this piece here. Alright, so that's your braiding. That is your braiding. Alright, and we're just going to use the scoring tool to squash it down. Don't wipe, okay, because you'll tear your braiding. Alright, if you try and wipe it, you'll tear the braiding. So that is a braided card. That's finished for the base. Alright, and then you may want to add some matting. Okay, so the recommended sizes, that's it, isn't it cute? The recommended sizes that I have for, or suggested that I have for the matting, all right, because we now have this area that we don't want to cover, all right. So normally for a card this size, you could have a 5.5 by 4.25. All right, I'm just going to see if I can widen this back out again. 5.5 by 4.25. And that would cover the entire front, or 5.25 by 4, or 5 by 3 3/4. Okay, but then you've got this area here that will still be covered. So what I've recommended is matting sizes. I've only given 2 at the moment, but we normally go down by 1/4 inch when we're dropping our sizes for matting. So 5.25, which is the height, by 3.25 for the width. right? And then the next mat down, if you want a second mat, 5 inches by 3. So I've dropped off 1/4 of an inch. So I would initially use a 5 1/4 by 3 1/4 mat. All right. Now, I would be really happy if you guys make a card using this technique and just put it up on Mezza Scrappers, which is the group that you're in watching this now. If you want me to email you a copy of the template, let me know here. Sounds like Pauline and Shayna would like a copy. If there's anybody else that would like a copy of the template, email to them. Let me know here, and if I do not have your email address, I will contact you and ask you to private message me your email address. Okay, so I'd love to see your cards. I'd really love to see your cards. Hi Ellie, yes, and Ruth, I will send them through. I know that there's going to be possibly some other people watching as well. Please email me through the, let me know here, and I'll be in contact if I don't have your email address. That was a bit of repetition. Okay, so as I said, you could use cardstock. You can cut that. All right, so to make that, you would do 5 1/2 wide, and the length of it would be 8 1/2. Folded in half, that gives you your 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. Okay, and as I said, the having the two-tone cardstock is absolutely gorgeous for this style of card. I haven't done one with a patterned paper yet. I was not sure if it would be heavy enough, but if you were using patterned paper, you would then need to put some cardstock inside for writing, so you could easily put some cardstock on the front and the back inside to assist with a little bit of extra sturdiness, whereas our cardstock, especially the actual cards themselves, are a heavier weight. So I thank you, Ruth. I'm glad that I'm able to offer so many various things to try. It's always interesting to see what's out there. I did find this on Pinterest. I think it was Pinterest. But I've been looking at this particular style for quite a while and just keep going, oh, I don't know if I can do it. It's not hard, but you must be precise. It's sort of, sometimes I have the attitude of, oh, that's close enough. Unfortunately with this, it's not. Close enough is good enough. You do need to make sure that you are precise. Okay, and look, as I said, I made a little one. I'll tell you what the measurement of that is. So that was actually cut at just under, well, it was 6 inches long, and it is 2 3/4 inches high. I did have, so when it's folded, it's 3 inches by 2 1/4. I did have it at 3 by 3, but when I lined the template up on it, I ended up with a really large area here that really didn't look so good. So I actually trimmed that off after I'd made it. And when I did it, I did another one, cut it at this size, and it was able to line up a little bit more neatly. So yeah, I think they're great. I would love to see your creations, and yep, awesome. I will catch you later. Have a great day. Bye.